Hello, Merry Christmas, and for those who don't celebrate, Happy Holidays. This is No Soundbites Allowed, and I am your host, Michael Voss, Dragon of the Southern Tier. I'm happy to be here with you on Christmas Eve, and I hope that this day is finding everyone to be of joy and cheer amongst friends with warmth and happiness, somewhere safe, no matter where you are in the world, no matter how you come across this. Normally on this program, we deal with political commentary. We talk about the issues of the day. And in fact, this entire week, we've been looking through many stories, talking about issues in the international politics, looking at domestically, overreaches of government. And we'll talk about that again very, very soon. In fact, on our Sunday live stream at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But instead, today, we want to take a moment to talk about something else. A serious subject, no doubt. Yes, we're in holiday gear, but even with that, we want to talk about something that's actually very serious. And this was something that came to us because of our good friend, Larry Sharp, who did a live stream today, December 24th, and we were watching it and we had a comment. And I want to share part of that with you today.
Michael, this is Michael Voss, by the way. Those of you who don't know Mike Voss, he's a Marine brother of mine out of the Binghamton area in upstate New York. He says, Larry, would you mention that besides forgiving people, it's important for those having trouble with depression, domestic abuse to reach out. The forgiveness is not just for family, it includes friends too. Brother, yes, yes, and yes. And let me bring that up. I'm sorry. Thank you for that. You know, I brought up the idea of forgiveness is good for yourself. That's true. It's better for you to move on. Desiree and I were just going back and forth that, right? It's good if we allow ourselves to move forward. But Mike is right here. It's also good for those who are feeling like they're wrong or doing something bad or unworthy. Remember, if you're depressed, I'm going to simplify this for this argument. It's not the only rule, but I'm purposely simplifying it. If you're depressed, you believe that you are either unworthy or unable to have happiness, or both. You're unworthy of happiness or unable to have happiness, or both. You believe that, and that's depression. Now, that's simplified, I know, but I'm purposefully simplifying it. But when someone says to you, hey, Mike, whatever you did, brother, it's all good. It's all good. Those of you who know me know I'm constantly saying, all good, all good. Never happens. Move on. I constantly use that phrase. All good. It's all good. Let's move on. When you go to someone who's depressed, you say, look, it's all good. Let's just move forward. It's me and you, man. They begin to feel like, wait a minute. Am I worthy? Mike's forgiven me. I did some stuff I shouldn't have done to Mike. I screwed Mike over. And that guy is going, oh, good, man. Don't worry about it. Come on. Me and you. Wow, maybe I am worthy. People who are stuck in domestic partnerships where they're being abused. Many of the people there, not all obviously, some are just physically trapped, but some are believing that they deserve it of it, right? Oh, I can't get out. I can never get out. They believe they're unable of getting out of their relationship. They believe that they're not worthy of a good relationship. They believe this. And you going, no. You're totally worthy. I forgive you. Come on. That might be the piece, right? And for those of you who've been in bad domestic abuse situations or know someone has, you know that at one point, people who've left it, something pushed them over the top to go, I'm out, whatever that thing is. Who knows if yours is that final straw that breaks the camel's back and says, I'm out, I'm leaving. I'm not going to be in this relationship anymore that's abusing me. It could be your forgiveness. Or maybe your forgiveness is just a piece of a lot of the things that eventually will get that person to get out of that position. Mike, you're on the money, brother. It isn't only about us. It is, but it's also about those we care about, those that matter, whether they're family or friends, anyone who you care about, family, friends, business associates if you care about them too. Telling someone that they're worthy of your forgiveness is going to help them. Hopefully it's the final straw, but if it isn't, at least it's something, right? If you're giving that person a chance.
Larry went on to speak about this for a little bit longer. And I do recommend listen to the whole thing that Larry had to say today, December 24th, Christmas Eve, about some of his insights and his forgiveness, his attempt to forgive those and forgive himself. And to that extent, he inspired me to an extent to put this message out. Because as much as there is politics to talk about, there are things happening in the world and in America that they deserve a discussion, as we do on this channel so often. But at this moment, I wanted to take a moment to do something else. Because I want to say to those who we speak about and those issues, people who have beliefs different than our own, fantastic. I forgive you. And I forgive myself. I forgive myself for being harsh, which we are sometimes, for being hypercritical, which we can do from time to time, because we're human beings. And like anyone, we have emotions, we have feelings, we have passions that are very strong. So I look at individuals like those in Progressive Leaders of Tomorrow, plot, those who have cursed my name, who have used racial slurs against me, who have denigrated my very existence. I forgive you. And I forgive myself for being angry with you for those reasons. For those who have made mistakes where they have promoted things like critical race theory, intersectionality, they have the right hope. They have the right idea, many of these people. And perhaps the process they're going through is just wrong, or at least that's how I see it. And I forgive them for helping to increase the net racism in the world from what I can see. And I hope they forgive me for not seeing things the way they intend them to be. I understand their intentions, and I forgive them for not being able to reach that, or at least that's my impression. And I forgive myself for perhaps not being able to see the world the way they do. The forgiveness goes both ways. The understanding goes both ways. And I want to extend that to them. I extend that to people who disagree with me, to those who do agree with me. I extend forgiveness and my true and honest, sincere hope that throughout this holiday season, this Christmas season, that they can be merry, that they can have cheer, that they can be amongst those who love them and who want them to be well. And I hope that that will extend to everyone. Truly, I do wish this. We've seen this even in the worst of times in the world, in World War I, in World War II, in so many instances where fighting around the world stops, at least for a day, to give others cheer and good hope. And I hope that for you. And I also want to address something else, because forgiveness is part of the process, but it's also acknowledgement and reaching out and helping. And I want this to be understood. That's why we have on the screen right now the suicide hotline, the domestic abuse hotline, the substance abuse hotline numbers, because I understand this is a hard time for a lot of people. Maybe you don't have family. Maybe you don't have children. Maybe you don't have the successes in life that you wanted to have. Maybe for various reasons, whether it be COVID or education, lack of income, loss of a job, all these things plague each and every one of us. Loss of friends throughout the year or even in the season. We all have difficulties. It's a tough time. And maybe it isn't the most cheerful time in the world for you specifically. That's okay, because we're all human and we have those difficult times. And while some of us will put on the cheerful guise, the appearance of happiness and joy, and inside ourselves, we don't. Maybe it's because you didn't forgive yourself. You have to forgive yourself too. You're not perfect. You're not going to succeed at everything. Everything isn't always going to go your way. Sometimes things will be difficult or downright just mean. I understand that. I've lived that. We all have. But you can do better. You will go forward. And maybe it's forgiving the people that are angry with you that helps you to start on a path that gets you into a better place. Maybe it's forgiving yourself for being angry, for forgiving others for what they've done, forgiving the universe for even existing. I don't know what it may be. But I want you to say, you don't have to be angry. You don't have to punish yourself. Suicide, that is not a way out. It isn't an answer. It causes more harm than you think it solves. Domestic abuse isn't something that is inherent in your life. It's not something that you have to accept. It's something that should never happen to you. And forgiveness may not be the answer, but perhaps it's a start. Forgiving yourself for being in that situation, for having to deal with it, and to know that you can reach out to other people. They understand and they will help you. Because it's not something you have to live through. It's not something that you deserve. Perhaps knowing that there is someone you can call about substance abuse, to know that the answer isn't to escape the world, to muddle your senses, to try and find some other fantasy that will only temporarily exist. And then you have to come right back to reality again and again. The escape isn't in trying to alter the way you perceive the world. It's perhaps in first understanding and forgiving yourself for being weak from time to time, for being overwhelmed from time to time, for not being happy from time to time. That happens. It happens to us all. It happens to me. So I imagine it happens to you. No matter how old you are, no matter how young you are, no matter what experience you may or may not have, these things happen to us all. We all get overwhelmed. We all get weighed down. We get depressed. We get upset. We get angry. We feel unworthy. We feel unloved. We get those feelings, but they're not real. It's not true. And it's not just the veneer of the holidays, I want you to understand. It's the heart of them. If you're thinking about gifts, well, here's a gift from me to you. I love you. I love you in plot. I love you in the Democratic Party. I love progressives. I love everyone. Besides the fact that yes, I love my conservatives and Republicans, libertarians, my family and friends, and many of my acquaintances. I love you all. I truly do. I love you all. That doesn't mean that I unconditionally agree with you. I will have disagreements with my family, my friends, my closest confidants, people within my party, outside of my party, those who share my political beliefs and those that do not. It doesn't matter. I can still love you without agreeing with you. Because love doesn't mean agreement. Doesn't mean that I believe what you believe unconditionally and have no way of expressing myself. And that's true for you too. We can disagree and still love humanity. We can love each other. We can express that. And we can forgive each other for the times when we don't love them, when we're angry with them, when we passionately and vehemently disagree. We can do that and still have love at the end of the day, to have understanding and forgiveness. I forgive myself for not understanding everything that I probably should or could. I forgive others for not understanding the things that I do understand. I forgive people for not coming to the same conclusions that I come to, just as I have to forgive myself for not coming to the same conclusions that they do. It's a two-way street. The forgiveness isn't unilateral, although it may start that way. And I think it's important to say that. And it's something that I believe. I believe it as passionately as I believe everything else that I do, the other 1,200 videos that I have done, the numerous articles that I've written over the last 15 years. I believe it. And I believe this too. And I believe that we have to look out for each other. We have to reach out, because I know sometimes it just gets to be too much. It weighs on us all. And it's overwhelming. Life is overwhelming. But life is worth living. Even when we're overwhelmed, it's worth having. It's worth doing. And it's worth being free and fair and honest and kind with each other even when we're overwhelmed, even when we don't agree, even when we are passionately found in situations that we would never wish to have happen. That's my message in Christmas and today. I want you to know, I understand what it is to be depressed. Many of us have been feeling that for the last 2 years, and probably will for the next year or two as well. And there are many things that are making us fearful and terrified and angry and upset. But that's not life. That's not what life is about. There's so much more. There's so much different. There's so much beauty in the world. There's so much kindness and giving and generosity in the world. And there's so much understanding in the world. And again, that doesn't mean blind agreement. It doesn't mean that you have no choice, no voice. In fact, I believe you absolutely do. It's why I do this every day that I work on this, every day that I do a video, every time that I speak out in a live stream. I believe in your individuality. Whether or not I agree with how you express that doesn't matter. And again, I forgive you for the excesses that you may have, and I forgive myself for the excesses that I have. And I am still there for you, because I don't care if you're a member of Plot, a progressive, a socialist, a communist. I don't care if you're a Republican, a conservative, a libertarian. If you feel like the answer to the world is to take yourself out of it, to harm yourself, please reach out. Reach out to the suicide hotline, to one of the other hotlines. Reach out to your friends, your neighbors, those around you. Look for the beauty in the world and remember that that world is made even more beautiful by your existence in it. Even if some people don't agree with you, even if you don't see the beauty right this second, it's there, and it's because of you, in part. And taking yourself out of that diminishes that beauty and that joy in the world for those around you. Let me say that domestic abuse, the same thing. Truly, to have love for someone is not to inflict pain on them, to cause them to suffer, whether it's physical or mentally. That to express love for someone is to understand and to share with them the very best of things. And that if you are suffering from that domestic abuse, reach out, whether it's to the hotline or to your friends and those around you. Don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid. We all suffer. And we all can help each other in those times of suffering if we ask, if we reach out. For those who are suffering from substance abuse, whether it's opioids or whatever drug it might be, could be alcohol, could be a lot of things. Whatever that may be, reach out. Ask someone for help. Ask them to forgive you for any of the things you may have done for that drug. When you've chosen that drug over your friends, over your family, over your kids, over yourself, forgive yourself for that. And then make it better. Reach out. Ask for help. Ask people to support you as you struggle to become a better person without that substance, whatever it may be. Because people are generally, in my experience, in 53 years around the world, people are genuinely and generally good. They try their very best. And it has nothing to do with whether they're scholars or academics or whether they're well-read, whether they know what's going on in the news or whether they're paying attention to politics or whether they just watch entertainment and try and just live their life. People are generally good. People will genuinely try to help someone. That's genuinely what humanity is, in my experience, even in the worst of countries, even in the best of countries. And sometimes we just need to remind each other of that. And to forgive each other when we have our moments when we don't do that. I'm not trying to be political here. And I hope it's not coming across as political. That's not the intention. It's a departure from what we normally do. But maybe this helps one person. Maybe it stops one person from suicide. Maybe it stops one person from causing domestic abuse, or maybe it helps one person get out of domestic abuse. Maybe it helps one person to overcome the demons of substance abuse, to get on a better path for their lives. Maybe it just makes someone smile, to know that they've been forgiven and to know that they're loved. I don't know. And even if it's just one person in the world out of the 7 billion that we have, then this video is worth it. Because I do love you. And I do wish the best for you. And I do want you to be in a better world. And I do want your life to be the best life it can be. And I do hope this helps you to improve your life, however you think that improvement is. Whatever it takes for you to be better, to be happier, to not consider suicide, to not be in a domestic abuse or cause a domestic abuse, to not be reliant on various substances for your enjoyment and for your well-being. And I hope that this message isn't just found in the holidays, it's found throughout the year when someone has a need. To know that, yeah, there is one person in the world that loves you. And in fact, I guarantee if you look around you, there's more people than just this one guy in this one video. There's a lot of people who are around you, who love you, who will help you, who will support you, who forgive you, even the worst of things that you've done. And they will be there to try and help you. Because it's true. It's been my experience for 5 decades, and I have no reason to believe it's not true before then and after then. I don't know if this comes across right, and I'm not really going to edit this video. I want this to come across exactly as I'm speaking about it. It's not scripted, it's just me speaking to you. And I hope it's taken in the way that it's being presented. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with my politics. I'm not trying to change who you are. I am accepting you as you are. That doesn't mean I'm always going to agree with you. It doesn't mean I'm always going to support whatever it is that you are doing in terms of politics, in terms of business, in terms of life in general. But it doesn't mean that I don't love you and that I don't want the best for you. It doesn't mean that I won't listen to you and that if you come for help, that I won't be there to help you. Of course I will. And I'm not the only one. It doesn't matter what your politics are. I know there are so many people who are saying, well, you're the wrong political preference, so I can't like you. I can't speak to you. You're the wrong gender. You're the wrong sexual preference. You're the wrong color. Throw that away. None of that is real. It doesn't matter. Reach out. I don't care what the other person's color of skin is. I don't care what their preferences are. I don't care what their ethnicity or their gender or their skin color. None of that matters. Throw that out loud. They're human beings. And they will help you if you ask for it. And you can help them if they ask for it. And hopefully, not just through this Christmas and holiday season, not just in the end of 2021, but in 2022, 2023, 2024, for the rest of your life, you will find those people, that they will come to help you when you ask for it, and that you will be there when someone asks you. We're not perfect. No one of us is going to be perfect. That's not the message. We're here to be helpful, forgiving, understanding, to work with people, to help people, to be there for one another. And that doesn't mean that we have to accept everything 100%. Doesn't mean that we have to blindly accept or believe or follow whatever it may be. We can disagree. We can disagree vehemently. But that passion doesn't take away our humanity, our kindness, our generosity. I don't want anyone to ever think, yes, I vehemently disagree with certain political ideologies. I disagree with certain laws and ideologies. And I love the people. I know many people of many different political, religious, every different type of person in the world. I know many of them. And I love them all. And if anyone came to me and said, I need help, I will try. I would try as best as I can. I hope that others would do the same. And I hope that if we each could say, if you need help, I will try and help you as best as I can. And sometimes that may be pointing you to someone who can help better. Or maybe it's just being there as a shoulder to cry on. Or just being able to cry. Whatever it may be. I hope that we can all find that. And that we can all do that. And maybe, just maybe, if we all do that, as best as we can, as flawed as we all are, we can just do that, just a little bit. Maybe the world gets a lot better. At least that's what I think. I want to thank all of you, whether you're subscribers, whether you're people who've been following me for years without subscribing, whether this is the first time you've seen the video, whether you know me in real life outside of the videos, whether you don't, and you only reach me online. I hope this helped. I hope you understand. And if you don't, I want to be very clear. I love you all. I want the best for each and every one of you. And if you need help, reach out. Because I know what it is to be depressed. I understand what it is to be flawed and to not be perfect, just like we all are. And I understand and I forgive myself and you because we're not perfect. I hope this is well received. I hope it's understood in the sense that it's being expressed in. And I hope it does help at least one person. At least one person out there in the world, wherever you may be. I hope this finds you. I hope it helps you. It brightens your day. It improves your life in some way. That's what I think. And that's my message today, December 24th, 2021. Will I be doing a live stream on December 26th? Absolutely. Will I talk about politics again? Of course I will. Will I have my political views? Absolutely. Will people be upset with that from time to time? Absolutely. But always, at the end of the day, please remember, I still love you. I still want the best for you. I still want you to live the best life you can. I want to say I love you. Even if I don't always text you, even if I don't always make the phone calls, and I know I should, and I know we all should, at least, let me say it again here, I love you. I want the best for you. Not just over these holidays, not just over Christmas and New Year's, but forever. And I will try to always be there for you. And I hope that as best as you can be there for me. And together, that we all live the best lives that we can. I thank you. And I wish you the very best Christmas, the best holidays, the best New Year, and the best life that you can possibly have.